Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome to the Visionary Leaders Launch Day. Whoop, whoop, whoop. My name is Arin Fugate, and I am joined by Eliza Yoshida. Say hello, Eliza.
Good morning, everyone.
And I've got Dianne DelReyes with me. Say hi, Dianne.
Hey, everyone.
Okay, so I'm going to take about 5 minutes. I'm going to do a little housekeeping, a little introduction while everybody is getting live. Please turn your cameras on. We have no PowerPoint. There's no PowerPoint today, okay? So I need to see your beautiful faces or I won't have anything to look at. First of all, if you don't know me, my name is Arin Fugate. I am a Doterra Blue Diamond and one of the co-founding members of the Visionary Leaders Collective. I've been with Doterra for 14 years. So I like to say I helped launch this company. So I've been around, I've seen everything, and I'm so honored to be here with you all today. Congrats to yourself. Everybody, pat on the back. You're here. You're on camera. You're doing it. You're showing up. You're investing in your business. And because you're investing in your business, we are going to invest in you. We're going to pour into you today. Our intention for today's launch workshop is to help you create your roadmap to your launch or relaunch. Who is relaunching? Put it in the comments. Who is here launching for the first time? Put it in the comments. Whether you're doing this business just a few hours a week, part-time, full-time, this is the day your doTERRA business officially launches. So there's a metaphor I love to use, which is the boat cannot take off if you have 1 foot on the deck and 1 foot in the boat. Either you're going to split in half, you're going to fall in the water, or nothing's going to happen. So today is the day that you jump both feet in the boat. I want to hear it in the chat if you're ready to jump both feet in the boat. Let's go. Okay, we have 2 amazing trainers with us today. I want to tell you a little bit about these ladies. First of all, Dianne DelReyes. If you're on Dianne's team, please put it in the chat. Hello, hello. Dianne is amazing. She is an entrepreneur. She is a coach. She is a licensed acupuncturist, and she has a very unique perspective here because Dianne has launched and relaunched her business. Dianne made it to Diamond. Life happened, and she lost Diamond, which happens to a lot of us, right? We lose rank, we go back. But what Dianne did is Dianne came back in and she said, you know what, I'm going to do it again. And she did. So not only is she Diamond all over again, but she's also a Diamond Club finisher. So she has a ton of knowledge for us. Then we have Eliza Yoshida from Hawaii. Who's on Eliza's team? Say hello in the chat. Okay, so many amazing things about Eliza. First of all, she is founder 2.0. Whoop, whoop. She is Diamond Club first place winner. She is a blue diamond, and Eliza is a teacher. She's a math teacher. And guess what? She does this business and she still works in the public school system. So we honor you. Thank you to all the teachers who are here and anyone who is doing this business on top of all the other things you do. Okay, this is what I want you to put in the chat right now before we move on. What is your desired outcome for today? How will you know at the end of this day that it was worth the 3 hours you spent here? What will you hold yourself accountable today? Put that in the chat. Last little housekeeping, we will take a potty break at 9:30 a.m. Hawaii time, 12:30 p.m. West Coast time. You're welcome to get up and go whenever you have to, but know there will be a 5-minute break at that point. If you have any questions that come up in any section, put them in the chat and the trainers will answer in the chat if they can, but we will also have 5 minutes of questions after every section. So if your question is something we feel like the whole group could benefit from, we might ask you to come on camera and ask it live. All right, that's it for my housekeeping. Did I miss anything to my amazing co-trainers? All right, so who here has seen, done, received, been exposed to a business overview? If you haven't, no problem. I'd love to know that. Put it in the chat if you have seen one, if you haven't seen one. I am going to go through a business overview with you really quick. My goal is to actually do this in 15 minutes or less. My intention is to show you how highly duplicable this could be, how easy it could be, how you could turn around right after this and go and do it for someone. So something we're going to do throughout this whole webinar is we are going to show you how to access tools. So I'm going to share my screen, and I'm actually going to show you where you go and you find a build guide for the time that it's your time to do the presentation. Oh, not whiteboard. Okay, so you're going to go to doterra.com. And when you get to doterra.com, you will just put in here build guide in the search button. And it's going to bring up all sorts of stuff. I just want the single one that costs $2, but I'm not going to buy it. I'm going to download it. So if you see that download button, I do have it here in person, but oftentimes I'm doing a business overview over Zoom, so I don't necessarily need the paper one. Even if I was sitting down in person, I could pull it up on my computer. So can I just make sure everybody can see this really well? Okay, cool. So this is your build guide. We're now going to jump into the business overview, and you will have this as a recording, so I encourage you to come back and listen later if you want to practice doing this. Are you ready to live your dreams? I'm going to tell you a quick story about a man who hauled buckets of water for a living. Every day he hauled water from the nearest source to his village miles away. If he wanted to make money, he'd simply work longer hours, haul more buckets. Can you relate? Anybody relate to that? After many years, he grew weary of hauling buckets, and inspiration came. What if he used his spare time to build a pipeline? He could eventually be free from hauling buckets, and so he labored diligently for a few years to build his pipeline. So he worked on his pipeline after he hauled buckets. One day, he was able to turn the spigot on, and everything changed. He successfully created a continual supply of water and improved lifestyle for the villagers and himself, resulting in an abundant financial pipeline. doTERRA could be your pipeline. What would your life be like if you were working full-time on your job and part-time on your pipeline? And what would happen the day you could turn that spigot on? When you're thinking about partnering with a company like doTERRA for residual income or this pipeline, you want to make sure that you check them out. Let me tell you a few of the reasons why I partnered with doTERRA. Number one, they're effective, most tested, most trusted essential oils on the marketplace. We have over 5 million customers. We have our certified, pure, tested grade standard. And most importantly, results don't lie. 65% of the people who purchase doTERRA keep on purchasing. That's called a retention rate. Our industry standard, so in network marketing, is 13%. So you're getting involved with a company where the customers are happy and they keep buying. That means you don't have to recruit month after month. We are not like other direct selling companies. We are focused on products that work with an incredible compensation plan, business opportunity to follow. We lead with the product. We share our wellness lifestyle, and people want to then partner. doTERRA's growth is compared only to Apple. Apple grew to $1 billion company in 7 years, so did doTERRA. We've been named the largest essential oil company in the world by Verifar Markets. We're part of the $4.2 trillion wellness market, which has only exploded since we've come out of the last 2 years. We're open in 159 countries, so wherever you want to build, you can. And we're led by an incredible team. But my favorite thing about doTERRA is how doTERRA is working to change the world. We're creating economic opportunity and financial stability in developing nations. We give back to disadvantaged communities through the doTERRA Healing Hands Foundation, and we pay our growers fairly, and we preserve agricultural knowledge through our co-impact sourcing. It's absolutely incredible. The possibilities are out of this world. You can work part-time and get your product for free. You can put in a little more and actually supplement your income. Or you could do this full-time and create life-changing residual income that's passed on generation to generation. doTERRA pays you multiple ways. Probably most important is our Power of 3 bonus. That's the little blue section here. That is a structure bonus where you're rewarded when people use the products and order them monthly. We have our Fast Start bonus. This is paid weekly. So this is your startup money. You sell a kit, you get 20% from doTERRA. But the most exciting one is the unilevel bonus. The unilevel bonus is what I like to call gangster money. So this little chart gives you a great example. I want to break it down for you. You get 2% on the least amount of people and 7% on the most amount of people. If you build in that 3x3 structure, so following the Power of 3 bonus, by the time your 7th level is filled out, you could have over 2,000 people there. 2,000 people ordering 150 PV a month times 7% is $32,000 in commission just in 1 month, just on one level. And this is real. I have seen this in my own organization. It works. If you focus on the Power of 3, the unilevel comes. Plus doTERRA pays generous leadership bonuses. That's like you get a whole piece of the pie of the income from all over the world. So you can change lives and create an income. The network modeling in conjunction with high quality product or service presents an unparalleled opportunity for people to thrive. What would make the biggest impact in your life? Do you want to earn more so you can become debt-free? Do you want to have a generous savings account? Do you want to be more financially flexible? Is it about working smarter so you can control your time, build your own dreams, plan and prepare for your financial future? Is it about doing what you love? Do you want to travel more, develop your talents and your interests? Do you want to serve more or spend more time with your family? You can partner with doTERRA and get where you want to be. There's really 3 pathways. Pay for your product. You're going to work about 3 to 10 hours a week. You can make up to about $800 a month. You will need to enroll a few customers every month, get to elite in 2 to 3 months, and premier in 6+ months. Say you want to supplement your income. This can be up to about $5,000 a month. You need 10 to 30 hours per week. You would enroll 4 customers at least a month and 1 builder monthly, 1 business partner. That's premier in 3 to 9 months or gold in 1 to 2 years. But the one I love and the one Dianne chose and the one that Eliza chose is to replace your income upwards to 6 figures. And all you need is 25 to 50 hours a week. In fact, we've learned that 15 hours a week is the sweet spot. You need to enroll at least 8 customers a month and 2 business partners a month. You're looking at gold in 6 to 9 months, diamond in 1 to 3 years. Success is simple. You use the product, you share the product, and you teach others to do the same. It's all about the pipes, which we will definitely be going over in this webinar, and you get trained on regular basis from doTERRA. We have incredible systems out there. We're going to be using many of the tools today, so you are supported. And you're going to hear from people that have had incredible results. I'd love to put a few in the chat. If you've been with doTERRA and you've been able to pay off a bill, pay your rent, buy your grocery bill, put it in the chat for us. So in closing, doTERRA is bringing hope, healing hearts, raising leaders, and living dreams. This is the meaningful work of a doTERRA wellness advocate. So I'm going to stop my share. That is a business overview. That's something that you can do very simply. And you can sit down in person or you can do it over Zoom like I did. So we're going to actually take 5 minutes for questions if anything came up or if there's anything you want to add, Dianne or Eliza. So does everybody feel like they could do a business overview using the build guide? Did you notice that I read from it? I didn't read everything. I read the things that resonate with me. So you don't have to know all of this by heart. You can literally read from it. And then when you're sitting down with someone, they can follow along with you. Sometimes I even like to ask them to read. I might say, you can read that section. Okay, let's see, anything in here? I love all the shares. Carolyn said we had a third baby boy and now my older boys are on a baseball traveling team and they travel a lot thanks to the extra income from doTERRA. I love that. Okay, well, I don't see any questions, so we're going to move on to the next section. I'd like to give it over to Dianne. She's going to be talking to us about our why.
Yes. Okay. By the way, my why, I had so much resistance to doing this, but I'm going to talk about that in a second. But I love this quote, and I'm going to share a document with you guys in a minute, but I love this quote that you probably have heard from Simon Sinek, who says, people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. And what you do simply proves what you believe. I love that quote, and I think it really embodies the why exercise that we're going to go through. But I want to just share a little bit more to kind of set you up for this exercise. Now, to achieve your goals and realize your dreams, it's important to know not only what you want, but also why you want it. Inner conflict typically arises when the head and the heart are not on the same page. The heart's desires often differ from what the mind considers to look good on paper. By making a greater consideration of your true or deeper underlying why, your more conscious awareness drives the capacity to carry on uncompromisingly, keyword, through adversity, discouragement, and doubt. It's how your goals actually become non-negotiable. It's really about when you create your deeper why, it's about being your word and being committed to your word. So I think now we've seen many people not take the time to uncover their deeper why for doing their doTERRA business and ultimately end up treating their business like a hobby and getting hobby-like results, right? And then they wonder like why it's not working for them. Now, it's my belief when you truly uncover your why, and trust me, again, I used to have a lot of resistance to this and I thought it was a waste of time. But now I see how this is the driving force of staying committed to my actions and, again, being my word. And as an entrepreneur, we must have a level of discipline. And if discipline is not on your top strengths, like it's not on mine, it's actually literally dead last, number 34. So trust me, you're looking at the queen of distraction and shiny object syndrome and boredom. But when you have your why, the discipline actually becomes much easier. It makes more sense because you're driving from a different place. So it's my understanding, it is with this understanding my why that helps me when I don't want to do the things that I know will grow my business. And it will be the thing that does that for you as well. I think when you're clear on your why, which is, by the way, it may change over time, but when you're clear on your why, it also helps you talk about or share about what you do in a more compelling way. It's like you become aligned with this. It starts making so much more sense. Also know that it's okay if your why is about making money. There is nothing wrong with that. Just consider why that money is important to you right now. So I'm asking you to just set aside any resistance you might have now, even if you're internally rolling your eyes, like, trust me, I'm kind of good at that, and just like surrender to this process. So I'm going to share my screen and we're going to go over, whoops, hold on, please. That's my next section. Hold, please. All right, I'm going to share my screen and we're going to do, hopefully you all have your pens and papers. And I think, Arin, we shared this document with this group.
No, we need to tell everybody where it is. So it's page, let me just pull it up for you. We're going to be working with this Y exercise. I'm going to put the link in the chat so you can just pull it up. Are you going to share it too, Diane?
Have I not shared it?
Oh, you did. I see it now. It's the Deepen Your Why
Okay.
one. And the link is in the
Yeah.
chat if you want to look at that, but they're just going to be these questions. So even if you don't have it, you'll be okay.
Yeah, so get your paper and pen out. Can everybody read the questions on here? Can everybody see that? I'll say them out loud as well.
I can't see it, so.
Okay, hold on, please. Let me see if I make it bigger. Is that helpful? Oopsie. Does that help?
Yeah, I can see that now.
Okay, cool. So this exercise below is designed to lead you through a powerful process of discovery, to excavate the deep desires of your heart. Don't overthink your answers or ponder too long. We're actually going to give you 60 seconds for each question. Otherwise, if you overthink things, you get stuck and you start analyzing it, right? So write out each answer by hand to fully engage your faculties to make powerful connections to your brain. So I'm going to get my little timer out. Let's see, and we're going to do 1 minute per question. So the first question is, why am I doing a doTERRA business? And the way you want to answer it is, because I. Now write down the first things that come to your mind. Go. I feel like I should play the. And keep writing even if because I think it'll come up. Don't overthink it, just keep writing, stream of consciousness. Okay. So now we're going to go on to the second question. Looking at the answers that you just wrote, why does that matter to me? And you're going to start the answer by because I think, and explain why you gave your answer you did to the first question. Okay, now looking at what you just wrote in the second question, we're going to go even deeper. Why does that matter to me? Answer the question, why does that matter to me? And refrain from answering with a hope or a want. Instead, state a deeply held belief tied to why you gave your answer to the question number 2. Because I believe, and go. Okay, now you're going to look again at what you just wrote in question number 3, and you're going to answer, why does that matter to me? Now, I know this might feel redundant, but we are excavating. We are pulling back the curtains. So you're going to say, you're going to answer the question, explain the experience that taught you the belief you wrote in answer number 3. The dark that taught you the light, the bitter to the sweet. So then you're going to answer the question, why does it matter to me? And then you're going to write the answer, because I know how it feels to, and go. Okay, you guys are doing amazing work. So question number 5. Now you're going to look at your last answer. You're going to identify keywords and phrases in your answer to question number 4 and convert them into an inspiring and motivating marketing message. Basically, you're going to say, why I do what I do. Why I do what I do, blank. Go. Okay. Pens down, students. All the teachers. I'm not a teacher. All right, I am going to look at more people. And I would love to hear, I'm gonna, okay, cool if I stop sharing? Because I want to see what everybody's doing. And we would love to hear some things that you uncovered during this exercise. You can put it in the chat, but I would love if we would have some people share what came up for you, because some of you have been around here for a minute and it's likely has changed, right? So I would love to hear some shares of what you unearthed in this exercise.
It
Oh,
looks
you need
like
more time?
Yeah, it looks like some people are asking for more time and a little stuck on the last one. If we want to just
All
give
right.
it.
All right. I'm going to, first of all, I'm going to share that again. And
Diane,
yeah,
would it help if I kind of used myself as an example?
it would, I'm sure, help a lot.
Okay. Okay. So these questions are short. They actually wanted you to have 30 seconds to answer each question because it's supposed to be what's on top of your mind. Now, by the time you get to number 5, that's going to take a little more time. So I just want to kind of share with you all how this came up for me. And I've done this exercise so many times. I think the more you do it, the more you'll uncover. Each of these questions, what it revealed for me is that I want to heal myself, I want to heal my family, I want to heal the world. But when I got down to number 4, what I actually uncovered is I know what it's like to be so sick that I've had thoughts of not going on. I know what it's like to not be able to walk a city block without being in excruciating pain. And I know what it's like to not have food to eat. Because I know what that's like, I can't not share. So if you do this exercise and you get yourself to the point of like the real nitty gritty, you're going to go, oh, and it's going to feel a little scary, possibly a little vulnerable. It's also why they say just 30 seconds. So your answer to that bottom question will hopefully reveal your true pain point. And then number 5 is asking you to turn that into a marketable message. Now, I understand that learning how to write marketable messages can take a lot. And so this, if you're struggling with it, write it down. Throughout this workshop, you're going to see places where you need to up level, where you maybe need to get extra training, extra support. So if writing a marketable message is hard for you, just write that down. Need extra support on marketing messages, then reach out to me or your upline will get you resources. But here's the marketing message that I wrote from that exercise just now. Why do I do what I do? I know how it feels to be sick, tired, and close to giving up all hope. Doterra came into my life and offered me a vehicle to pick myself up and out of my circumstances. Now I have to share as a form of gratitude and because I know there are others out there that are going through a similar dark time. It's good, but I just want everybody to know, like, I worked hard to get to a point where I can admit that I was in such a dark time that I almost wanted to give up. And I honor and recognize that that's a process to get to. So I hope that was helpful.
I think it was really helpful. And I also, I want you to kind of let yourself off the hook if you don't feel like you have a refined marketing message, because it's not something that you create in 60 seconds. And so, but really the idea is to start peeling away the levels of what it is deeply that's going to help you make a difference in your doTERRA business, help you move forward when you don't feel like it, help you stay committed to your actions. I mean, that's really what we're looking for here. And I actually learned a really great, which I would love us to pin. And we started talking about, I think the other day, Arin, is maybe having a special pop-up training where we can teach you how to, to craft that message. Does that sound like something you guys would be into doing? Yeah, say yes, that'd be cool.
Yes,
Yes.
I love that, Diane. That you made that connection to what we talked about, like some follow-up mini pop-up trainings that focus on targeted areas. So this sounds like one of them. I love that. I need
Yeah.
help with it. I'm struggling with it.
Yeah.
And I'm making notes about subjects we need to dive into.
Yeah. And at the end of this training, you guys, okay, and Arin, you just did something really cool. You asked them to kind of write down, I would have a section in your notes somewhere, maybe a separate piece of paper where you're writing down the specific action steps that you know you need to take. Like, right? So like, what are the things that you want to dive deeper into? And also, what are the things that you know you want to take right now? Like, you're learning this information, but the most important thing and reason why we're doing this is so that you can implement and so that you can actually get this process started. Anything else you guys want to add to that?
This is just a little housekeeping. Sandra asked a great question. She said, how do I find that why exercise? And we actually want to show you. Eliza also mentioned we're going to send out all the links in the email. But if it's okay, Diane, I'd love to show everyone how to access this document in a way that pertains to your business. Is that okay?
Yeah, I would love that. Thanks.
Okay, so we have an awesome website. Who uses the hellovisionary.life website? Just say it in the chat. And Diane and I worked on this Launch Your Business page a little while back. So if you go to hellovisionary.life, this is our team website. And if you click on the very first thing, which is Launch Your Business, click here. You're going to see our 4 simple steps to launching your business. The first is to become a product of the product. The second is to discover and deepen your why. So this is that exact worksheet. And the third is to start sharing doTERRA. And the fourth is to master the pipes. I show you this page because if you have a new person who's launching and maybe you're waiting for the launch webinar, start here. This is the place to start. So I just wanted to show you that.
That's great. Thank you. I'm going to put in the chat, Hello Visionary. I think most of us knew about it. All right. Is that helpful for you guys? Did you kind of get a little bit clearer about your why? Has anybody, I didn't look at the notes, has anybody shared or is anybody willing to share? It may not be your messaging, but like something that came up for you guys.
My name's Nan. I'm in Hilo, Hawaii. We just completed Mary Monarch. I'm loving being here. My number 5 is why I do what I do, and then I'll back up. Creating global friends and relationships with quality materials and education. We're the butterflies, and we meet twice a week globally on Zoom. And number 1, I recently turned 70. So for me, community and sharing and health. And number 2, because I think growth, aging and health. Number 3, because building friendships. And number 4, it's social. So once again, number 5, creating global friends and relationships with quality materials and education. It's really awesome. Woo! And we're gonna visit the Malama farm with sandalwood growing that we're perpetuating. And I recently spoke to a kupuna, and she's so excited that that Josie's here, and that we're going to be visiting that. And then Julie is our Julie and David. Julie's our organizer for our field trip to the Malama sandalwood. So mahalo. Happy Mary Monarch.
That's awesome. I love it. So many Hawaiians here. Lindsay, you have your hand raised.
And then Kanani, she's asked in the chat.
Sorry. Yeah.
So I love these exercises. It's so good to circle through and come back to this. I've had a why that's evolved and developed and circled around, and I love the idea of taking the time to deepen the practice of how do we message it to you, because I definitely am like the core nuggets come up really easily for me at this point. For those of you who don't know me, I've been in the community for about 9 years, sharing on some level for 8. So this is a process, and I love how we do get to the core heart of it. And for me, I think I'm still working on figuring out how do I weave it all together, because there are so many like truly deep aspects that come together. This is what in this moment came out. Why do I do what I do? Because I've been there, pushing through, powering through, being miserable, hopeless, exhausted, and in so much pain. I've also known how much it sucks to see someone we love suffer and feel helpless to make it better. I believe we all deserve to feel good in our bodies and empowered to care for ourselves and our loved ones well. My experience with doTERRA and these sustainably sourced high impact oils has built my belief that the magic in these little bottles has the power to transform our lives. And it compels me to get the word out and share the opportunity for education and empowerment so that families can have these resources and abundance for well-being and prosperity as well.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. I'm going to challenge you too to like really like hone that message so you can say it. So like, what is like, you don't have to answer it now, but like, what is the thing that comes up for you first? Like when you think about what you just said, what ultimately is like the one thing that is moving you forward? So I know that's something you get to refine. But I think that message is beautiful, and that's a personal thing that's you get to remind yourself of when you're doing this business. It's like, yeah, I love that. And
so I have a side note question here, and it may be best to table it. So let me know if that's true. But one of the things that comes up for me is like where the heart of it is, that where I go oomph and where I actually feel inspired to take daily action don't always match up. In so much as when we talk about like the oomph factor, it's ending suffering. When we're talking about the like what lights me up to like actually show up and take action in a like sustainable, like let's get active way, it tends to be more like financial, relationship building, etc. So it's interesting to me that the thing that excites me and the thing that feels most potent, like that's where I'm still working on this nugget.
yeah,
Is that right?
Yeah, it does. And I don't think they're separate, right? Like I think the one leads to the other. Like the suffering is, I mean, can look so different. Ending suffering, what that could be emotionally, physically, mentally, financially. That those all kind of come together, as far as I'm concerned, and that's within and without, right? So I think when we do as far as like your messaging, whatever it's going to drive you in the moment, just use that on the daily basis. But ultimately, when you're thinking about your brand or your business and your messaging, then you're going to want to like you're going to want to put that into a real refined message marketing statement. And I think the exercise that I'm thinking about will really help you refine that.
I'd like to say one thing on this question that Lindsay's asking, and I totally want to hear Kanani's share too. So I'll be really brief. And it's that the money gets me in action in the moment, especially the uncomfortable things like I want, a new car or a handbag or to go on a trip. But the deeper why, ending suffering, gets me out of bed on the days that I want to completely quit. That's the difference for me. So I just want to throw that in there.
Love that. And Kanani, we would love to hear from you.
Hi, happy Merry Monarch Week to all of you in Hilo, because that holds a special place in my heart. I competed for many years, so it always still makes me so happy. I appreciated this exercise. I always go back to my why being my children, because I have 3 boys, but like Arin was saying, the once I started getting further into my business, my why changed, and the flow of money coming in really was part of that driving force to continue, because I was able to help my children more and be more at home with them. So that was the connection with time. And that's what I wanted. So going through this exercise, that's all the things that came out. I started with just the first question, just to recap, was just wanting to discover natural solutions to help families. And then the second question, it involved into like, I needed more time for my family. I wanted to be more with my boys. I wanted to support their dreams and their goals. Okay, little one, I have a 5-year-old back there. Okay, honey, he's not feeling good. So then the third question, it just kind of kept like pulling off those layers that you talked about I really love being a dental hygienist, but doTERRA gave me a deeper love and passion and allowed me to dive deeper. So by the time I got to question 4, it was just, I was this frustrated mom looking for anything to help my kids because they were young and they were sick and they were passing things back and forth, where I just felt defeated and sad and frustrated all the time. And that's what doTERRA has given me, is that love, that hope, where I can just pour into them, which allows me to help other moms to pour into their children. So of course I have to share, because it's brought me so much success with my kids.
Oh my
That's
God,
it.
I got chills. That is so beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing. And I love how it peeled away like what was underneath everything. And that's beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing. And Nikki Dean, you are up, girl.
Hi everyone. Oh my gosh, I'm just so loving this. I feel a totally new energy. I think all of the calls that we've had, and I'm just leading up to this, and all the just team training that we've had has just made me so much more excited for this. And I'm so ready to relaunch my business. And anyone who wants to come with me on my team, they can come, but I'm going to lead by example and see what happens.
Love that.
So,
yes.
Here's what I came up with. Well, one of the things that I noticed as I answered these questions is that I am in such a different space than I was a long time ago when I started this business. When I first started this business, I was in such a place of scarcity. I felt so lonely. I had little kids at home. I worried how I was juggling them, being a mom. My husband worked a lot of nights and weekends, so I felt like a single mom, and I'm not so great with little kids. I found that really, really hard. Like, that was not my zone of genius. And I was always worried about money. And I felt like I worked really hard. And I used to say to my husband, half joking, like half crying, like, how am I ever going to retire? Because I thought of myself as an independent woman. I never growing up saw myself being taken care of by someone else. I saw myself as a powerful contributor, and I didn't want to just rely on my husband, but I was a contractor and I had a great job. I loved what I did. I worked for a hospital in 4 different departments, and I was still a contractor. And if I didn't show up to work, I didn't get paid. And so I did great, but it was very hard. They were not putting a 401k together for me or anything. And then I found doTERRA, and I have to confess, I was very resistant. I wanted nothing to do with this business at all. And then I looked at the comp plan and I thought to myself, I haven't seen anything else that has this kind of potential. There's nothing else that I've seen that I'm aligned with that could possibly take me to this place of freedom. And for me, one of the best parts has been the community, and not feeling alone and feeling like I have so much support no matter what comes up in my life, whether I need support for health protocols for me or my family, or support for how to grow my business, it's all right there, or just a friend, right? And so this business has been life-changing for me. And my big change in 2022 is that my belief is 100% back. And I have that belief to offer to other people. So that's where I feel like I'm really showing up. I know that was long-winded and I'm gonna shorten it down, but I feel like what I'm here to do right now is to lean into my own belief in myself and help other people believe in themselves again.
Yes. Woo, I got chills, girl. You guys are just giving me chills. So good. Thank you so much, Nikki, for that share. And I think that's a great place to wrap this section up. And I'm excited to move for all of you and your whys, and keep going. You guys don't stop. If you feel like there's still more there, keep going. Keep going. I can't wait. So let's move on. Eliza, take it away.
Good morning, everyone. Wow, it has been an amazing morning so far, and I'm so excited to move into this next part with you guys. And I have to be honest, Arin and Dianne were like, launched this. I saw this go out in the Visionary Leaders. I shared it, and I really wanted to be a part of it, truthfully, because we can all use a good relaunch. I need to do all of these things that you guys are doing. Oh, we're getting some background noise. I think if everyone could check. Okay.
Got it, Liza.
Thanks. So we all can use a little relaunch here and there, right? Myself included. So I feel so grateful because that exercise was probably something I've only done once in my now, 8 years with Doterra. So it was definitely time. So I am going to talk about time blocking. But before I jump into that, I kind of just want to revisit Arin's section for a minute because I'm going to take you guys into the Business Builder's Guide. And so if you don't have this hard copy, I'm going to show you where you can find it on the website. You can buy these for $10. I highly recommend them. If you're on our team on Maui, don't have one, let me know. I got plenty. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. And you're gonna see a picture of my husband and son. So to be perfectly honest, I do Google a lot. I've heard leaders say, did you Google it first, right? When answering questions. So remember that before you ask a question, Google it first. And so Doterra Business Building Guide PDF comes right up if I search that. And it takes me right to the Empowered Success website, which is chock full of information, but can sometimes be hard to find things. So that's why just Googling the exact document. Again, we're going to go ahead and share this with you in a link as well. So I noticed that the actual hard copy and the PDF online are a little off in page numbers. I did want you guys to look at page 14, but that's the page number in the actual book. So let me make sure that that's what it is. And the reason why I want, sorry, obnoxious scrolling on the screen. A reason why I want you to do this is because in order to time block, you really have to have an idea of what time you have to give, right? And so when Arin talked earlier through the Business Builder's Guide about setting goals and kind of, are you paying for your product? Are you supplementing your income? Or are you replacing your income? Those different levels require different time commitments. So just to recap them real quick, if you are in the paying for your product stage, you're looking at 3 to 10 hours a week. If you're looking at the supplement your income stage, you're looking at 10 to 30 hours a week, and replacing your income 25 to 50 hours a week. Now, in the Business Building Guide, they talk about hitting ranks in a certain number of years based off of these numbers. And I just want to do a little bit of story time because I think it's really important to recognize that I didn't go into this business myself with any big income goals. I kind of worked myself through these 3 stages, which is totally natural and normal. I also did not have a lot of time. So I built on for these averages very slowly. Okay. I hit a rank every year. So elite, it took me a year. Premier, it took me a year. Silver, gold, so forth. So I did not personally hit diamond until 5 years in, whereas this brochure says 1 to 3 years. And that's because for those 5 years, I only had 10 hours to 15 hours max a week, and 15 was on the high end. So be realistic about where you're at and what you can give. If you want to supplement your replace your income, but you have more supplement your income hours, just know it might take you a little longer, but that's okay. Everybody is different. Now, if you're ready to replace it and you want to go now and you want to be making 10 grand a month, then you're going to need to put in 10 grand a month working hours. So if you could go ahead and look at page 14 or 15 in this business builders guide, and just really quickly, if you don't have it in front of you, go ahead and just follow these prompts and write down your goals really quickly. I think it will help with time blocking. So I'm gonna be quiet now for about 3 minutes and let you guys look at these and write these goals. And the choose to share is kind of like the why part. So maybe just the choose your goals part right here.
Eliza, just quickly, if anyone's struggling with figuring out what a reasonable goal is, I really like to look at how many classes per week you need to teach, because your classes per week can sometimes really affect how much time you have to give. Like when you were building, you told me you had evenings and then you taught classes on the weekend. So did you teach more than one class?
I probably taught 2 classes a month. And I did one-on-ones in between there though as well, which are considered a class, but I probably had 2 classes a month on the schedule, at least one. And then I did about 2 hours a night, 5 days a week. So that's where my 15 hours kind of sweet spot came in. All right, I'm gonna stop here. I wanted people to have an idea of what their personal goal is, so that before we ask you to schedule time for these goals, that you know what you have to work with or what your personal goal is. So we're gonna talk a little bit about scheduling your success, and I'm gonna go back into the BBG in just a little bit, but you really want to make sure that your what you have to offer in terms of time and your goal are in alignment, and that you're reasonable and realistic with yourself, because there's nothing worse than saying you want to achieve all of these things, but then not actually having or creating, because I do believe in the creation of time. I always said I had no time, I made the time. So in the creation of the time to create what you're wanting, your dreams. And so just make sure of that. And your goals can be flexible, but you really do have some non-negotiables with what you're doing in your business. So we're going to talk about that. Success is not a destination, it's a habit. And that's right out of the BBG. And I know that one of the popular books that I'm listening to right now on Audible and revisiting is Atomic Habits, right? This idea of making what we do every single day just such a natural, normal part of who we are. And so simple success habits that have been shared by top leaders in doTERRA really come down to consistency in very specific areas, which we're going to share. And so I'm going to go ahead and pull back up the BBG and scroll down just a little bit. And so here's a great place for your names list, guys. That's going to be something. Here's going through the process of prioritizing your names list. Here's a great success tracker, you guys. This is such a rich document that I highly suggest everyone lean into as a resource. Okay, so you want to create habits with consistent business building, income producing activities. Okay. You want to spend 70% of your time. So whatever time that is, 5 hours, 10 hours, 20 hours, 50 hours, inviting, presenting, and enrolling. And we call this the IPing, right? Because in pipes, we have our preparing, inviting, presenting, enrolling, supporting. So we want to give the maximum amount of time to the income producing activities. The best way to grow is to successfully recruit and launch other builders to do the same. So again, do not, a little tip, do not overconsume product education. I understand and love that people love to learn, especially all you learners out there that love to learn about the products, but we have to remember that we really need to make time and be committed to the IPing, as well as our weekly classes, our continuing education, our team calls. And now, honestly, you guys, I feel like I'm recommitted to those monthly Monday Empowered Success webinars. They are amazing. We should pop that into the chat so people can register, put that into the follow-up. I think we have it in the follow-up email. So every single day, you guys, you need to be one, using your products, be a product of the products. And you know, I've heard this time and time again, if you're starting to feel disconnected from your business, if you're starting to feel like you're not getting where you want to be, lean into your products even more. Lean into your products even more. Engage in personal development, which total true story confession was the thing I did not do the first 5 years of my business because I had such little time that I cut things. And this is where I'm playing a lot of catch up. Okay. Because we all have the mindset stuff. We all have the personal development stuff. But contacting, sampling, follow-up, and inviting are your core business activities. And can I also add and have you write somewhere, making new contacts? Okay, because something that I'm running into now is that you can't keep contacting the same people and getting the same results, which is sometimes ghosting, right? You need to be adding to your new contacts. So I want you to add that in there as well. And you just need to schedule interactions or be intentional about organic interactions as well. And when I say make a new contact, it doesn't mean meeting somebody for the first time and coming in hot and being like, hey, you want to try my oils? Just making contact with people and connecting with them is considered making a new contact, and then building and working and fostering that relationship so that at some point when you're both ready, you can make that invite. Okay, so we like to also talk and call these our daily DMOs. Okay, our daily method of operation. And that's something that's big in the network marketing world. Weekly, you need to have classes. And if you don't have classes, you need to have one-on-ones. And if you don't have one-on-ones, then you need to lean into the classes that are provided for you in our Essential Island Living community. We have a monthly team calendar, but the Visionary Leaders community provides a weekly Intro to Oils class as well. You want to have build classes as well, which is why we're here, okay, to help you, support you with that. Conducting wellness consults, crucial, critical, right? That second enrollment, that follow-up, the fortune is in the follow-up and the support of your customers. Attend and promote continuing education, which again, Visionary Leaders provides and is something that us in the EIL community are going to get back on track with. Attend your team call. And if you don't attend these live, commit to watching the replay within 48 hours, okay? Commit to watching the replay in 48 hours. And then holding strategy sessions. That would be like for myself, all my frontline leaders, I do a mentor call with them once a week. Okay. Monthly, you want to place your 125 PV loyalty rewards order. I also want to say that you want to make sure that's by the 15th of the month. You want to have your goals at the beginning of the month. Kanani just talked about this recently, where you don't want to be pushing the last 3 days of the month. You want to be really clear and set the intention at the beginning of the month, what your goals are, and then track them throughout that time. Annually, I really, really, really want to stress the importance of attending and inviting to events like global convention, leadership retreat, regional events, and so forth. Incentive trip. I've had the privilege. Oh gosh, my last incentive trip story. Not the best story, but I have had the privilege of attending the last 3 incentive trips. Okay. So I'm just going to kind of go through this real quick because I know I'm kind of reading now, which you can read yourselves, but just a reminder that you want to focus here in the IPES. Okay. So here, let's get into what I am going to ask you guys to do next is to work on your weekly schedule. All right. On the setting goals page of this guide up above, you selected your personal path for success, okay? So below are the recommended number of weekly hours, once again, for you to revisit. I love this. I've never actually done this, but it's kind of interesting to think about how many numbers of hours in a particular day you're willing to give to your business. Because I'll tell you guys right now, Saturdays are almost out for me. Yesterday alone, I had 2 soccer games. Typically, I'll have 2 flag football games. My daughter might have cheer or a 4-H event or something. So Saturdays are kind of like a 0, but Sundays are great days for me for classes and so forth. So this is something that you might want to think about as you're going to plan out your day. And what we are going to ask that you do is that you actually, we're going to take, how much time are we actually taking for this? Like, I don't know, 5 minutes? I probably talk too much.
No, you're good. You
Okay.
Your section goes until 12:20, so
Okay.
you might want to save some time for Q&A.
Okay,
But you have time.
Okay, perfect. I have time. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to actually do it. And I want to give you guys a little, like a good chunk of time for this. I need to do this myself this morning in my DMO group with my leadership group. I said, I need to schedule, and I should actually go look at it, time to revisit my prospect list. Okay, so when I get off this and well, not get off, but when I pause this, I am going to go in and I am going to schedule at least a half an hour a day for me because I have a long list to revisit, updating my prospect list. Okay. I also need to schedule, one of my big humps is actually calling people. I love to text, but I have a big hang up about picking up the phone and calling people. So I'm going to schedule a half an hour of 15 minutes of business recruiting 4 days a week and 15 minutes of customer calling, not just texting, hey, how's it going? Can I help you? But literally picking up the phone. I already have my team calls in here because we have those every Wednesday night. I have my community calendar of when there's events, so I know when I can invite people. So we're going to take a pause for you guys to work on your calendaring. And I have to tell you guys, I was a paper pencil calendar forever. I think it's the teacher in me, right? You write lesson plans in your lesson plan book. If you're not using something like Google Calendar yet, I highly recommend it only because when life happens, you can take these blocks of time and literally drag them into another day, right? I didn't get to do what I was supposed to do today. So I am going to intentionally drag that till tomorrow and make time for it tomorrow because I had to sacrifice something for life happening. All right. Arin, anything else that I missed, Dianne, before we have people go off and do this?
I just want to be that person who, I don't know what it is in the strengths, but when I first learned about time blocking, I was like, no way, you're going to strip all creativity from my life. I've never liked like a desk job. I've never liked being somewhere where I have to be somewhere. So I just want to speak to that person. If you're like, ew, calendars, yuck. First of all, I understand how you feel. It's painful, but it's going to free you. It's going to free you. You do not also have to schedule every little thing. You can give yourself themed days. That's a great way to deal with that. If you struggle with scheduling everything, like you have your day where you teach classes, you have your day you do follow-up, you have your day where you network. Just wanted to make sure anybody who feels like that is heard and let you know that this is going to help you be more free and more creative if you do some time blocking.
I love that so much. And I'm just kind of popping into the comments. And one of the things that I'm working on, Lindsay and Dianne, is definitely my morning routine as well. And that is not time blocked into my day and something I actually thought about time blocking. Just as a reminder for me when I wake up, like those calendar reminders pop up, right? So it's like meditate, journal, getting those into there. Let's see. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and take a pause right here. And it's 9:11, and I need to leave 5 minutes for Q&A at the end. So we're gonna go until, I'm gonna give a little bit of time. We're gonna go till about 9:16 on this. Oh, sorry, I'm in Hawaii, so I'm doing Hawaii time. 12:16? Yes, 12:16. So about 5 minutes. And if you need a little bit more time, I'm gonna shut up. Kate, go. Success. Schedule your success. Okay, you guys, I literally could do this for another half an hour. So hopefully you got something scheduled. Another tip why I love Google is because I can duplicate events and I can create them as reoccurring events. And so like my team calls pop up every single week because I set it to that. You can set those notification reminders for 30 minutes, 10 minutes. And then like I just duplicated all my mentor calls for the week and so forth. So just a couple of tips. There's so many ways to calendar, but going back to what Arin said and aligning your goals and then making them reasonable is to think about how many classes a week that you're wanting to schedule. Those of you that are in the like, I'm ready to relaunch like rocket style launch, schedule your first 4 classes in a jumpstart week or weekend during your launch month as well. You really want to keep it simple, allow you to build from one class to the next and then like get referrals and so forth. So just a couple of time for a few questions. I'm going to stop.
I wanted to say one thing, if that's okay.
Of course.
One of the things that I've been doing lately is leaning into what's available for us. Like in the beginning, and Josie can tell you, I would think I'd have to do it all. I'd have to have all my team calls and all the classes on my own. And now it's like, oh my God, why am I putting so much pressure? We have this amazing team and we have an amazing doTERRA corporate, so many opportunities. So now instead of Monday, my first Monday of the month team call, we all go to the Empowered Success call. And now I lean more into the Visionary Leader Wednesday call and promote the Tuesday night intro class. So we don't feel like you have to do it all yourself. This is one of the beauties of this business, is that you have your own business, but you're never in business alone.
I love that. I love that. Thank you. Definitely. That's why we did the community calendar, right? So that people for our personal team, and I know Visionary Leaders has one as well, so that we can lean into that. And the 8 a.m. Pacific time doesn't work for us Hawaii peeps for continuing ed. So definitely something that we need to visit. Catherine, I think, had a question.
Eliza.
Oh, yes.
Let's go to Catherine, but we have a Wednesday night continuing ed coming up, which will be Wednesday afternoon for you all now. Just want to make sure everybody knows that. Look on the calendar.
I
Awesome.
hope there's not too much background noise, but I had a question. When you say schedule 4 classes in the week, is the suggestion then to invite everyone to all 4 classes so that they can put something on their calendar? How do you recommend doing that?
So my personal recommendation is, I've never, maybe with Diamond Club, I have 4 classes a week, but if you're going to, you always want to have at least 2 options. Okay, you always want to have, you don't want to overwhelm people. So I personally wouldn't say, hey, I'm having a class on these 4 days. You want to come? Hey, I'm having an essential oil class. I totally thought of you. We're doing it this day and this day. And it's nice to give contrasting, like an evening class and a daytime class, right? And then allow them to choose. And if they say, oh, shucks, I can't make that, then you might say, well, we also have a class on this day, or I would love to schedule a one-on-one with you as well. Try to keep things more closed than open. So rather than saying what works for you, I have this day and this day available. And then of course, asking discovery questions like their schedule. What's your work schedule? Like, I obviously work with a lot of teachers, so I'm very well aware of when they're not available. So that's what I would suggest, Catherine, not overwhelming with too much, but that's the beauty of having so many options as well, is that you can give people time to and it helps them to make decisions. When you leave things too open-ended, people tend to be like, oh, I can do this whenever. No, create some urgency with that, this or this, that or that.
And I don't know about you, I love that because I think that's a really important distinction. And also, I don't know about you, Arin, but I noticed when I started having people register for classes, they showed up. They showed up to the classes. It's like they're making that commitment by taking that step to register for it.
That's a essential island living next step. We have not gotten there. Not my zone of genius, but I'm sure my assistant can help with that. So, but I love that too. And like for all of you in here, those reminders from Arin, right? Like those constant drips of like, oh yeah, I have this coming up, and then even getting that one, I'll see you in an hour. You know, I love that. So setting up simple systems. I know Arin does use Eventbrite. I think Zoom does it too, though. If you have Zoom, you can set it up where they register via Zoom.
Yep, but Zoom does not do the great email reminders.
Got it. Okay. Good to know.
So as the reminders, and this is great because some of you might be like, why do I have to register for the Tuesday class? And guess what? When your people register for the Tuesday class, they get those reminders, and then they get
Oh, sounds like, did anybody else lose Arin just a little bit? Yeah. Okay. Well, it would. Whoa, but she's next. Any other questions till we get her back? No. How many? Who needs lots more time with their scheduling and time blocking though? Me. I need to go back and do a little bit more of that. Are you back, Arin?
Nope,
Oh.
she's still frozen.
I have a question for you, Eliza.
Yes.
Just I wanted to ask about what is your number one tip for really finding great business partners?
You know, I feel like I say this about a lot of parts of this business. I don't think that this is my strength. I think that my strength lies in my consistency of action and showing up. I don't know, a lot of my leaders on here, so maybe they can put in the chat. But I think that consistency has led to people being willing and wanting to follow me and join me. Two of my builders were with me from the very beginning when we were just all figuring it out together. So we did everything together, and I've recently launched a few new legs. And I would say that I haven't necessarily actively sought out all those people. Like the Vielas on this call actually came to me ready to build. So I wouldn't say that it's my greatest strength. I need more support with like the launching of the builders and the asking. But I also think, and Nikki talked about this earlier, you need to be the example 24/7. People have, and I mean, you can fall off. Everybody falls off, but you can't fall off, you know, hardcore, because people see that, and then that doesn't draw them into line with you. So I would say my greatest tip is staying consistent, doing the work, showing up, being the leader that you want to attract. Arin is back. Of course, it would be me that went over time. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to her. Thanks, Asha, for the question.
Thanks, Eliza. I have to be over on my cell phone now, so I don't know what happened to my silly computer, but I
am excited. Can everybody hear me, first of all? You can hear me, you can see me, great. I am really excited to talk to you about what it's all about. We have spent the last few hour and a half with you going over the foundation, right? Why did we start with how to build business overview? Do you know your why? Are you ready to time block? Because all of that is the foundation. And if your foundation is not laid properly, you won't be able to take off. I gave you the metaphor at the beginning. You're on a dock, 1 foot in the boat, 1 foot on the dock. We're jumping into the boat. But if you jumped into that boat without having the foundation boat laid, you'd fall in the water, right? So we've laid the foundation for you. You're going to go back. You're going to revisit it. Now we're ready to talk about taking off. And guess what? The number one ingredient is for taking off in your doTERRA business. It's about inviting. It's all about inviting. Some of you might be wondering, well, what does it actually look like to launch a doTERRA business? It's really simple. You invite as many people as possible to come to a class, to look at the business, to take a sample. to get on a 3-way call. I mean, there's so many things that we invite people to, and the fuel for your launch is to invite more people. Invite as many people as possible to as many workshops, classes, events as possible. And of course, there's some skills. So if you open up your BBG, it's going to be page 31 through 41 is all about the process of inviting. And Dianne, Eliza, just know I'm on my phone now, so I might not be able to see your text messages if something happens. Now you can keep sending it, but I'm like, I can't read that. Okay, so I want to really understand, all of us understand that we're always inviting. So what does this look like? The example of this is I might invite you to sample essential oils. Then I might invite you to come to the next team class. Or maybe I'm going to invite you to a one-to-one. Or maybe you're someone who I think would be really great at the business. So I'm going to invite you to look at a business video, which we'll talk about later. No matter what you're inviting them to, the language that you use is going to be very similar. So we call this permission-based language. And I think Eliza touched on it a couple of times. And I'm going to mention it a little bit more here with each of these examples. I'm going to focus on the Tuesday class. Eliza, what day is your intro to oils class on? Because I want to reference that too.
Right now, we always have one on Monday nights. The Vielas do one on Monday nights.
Okay, great. So if you're in Hawaii, you have a Monday night class to use. If you're on the mainland, you have a Tuesday night class to use. I hope all of you are inviting at least 10 people a week to these classes. Even more if you're wanting to move up your so if you're inviting one person a week, turn it into 5. If you're inviting 5, turn it into 10. If you're inviting 10, turn it into 20. And whenever we invite someone, we are going to use this permission-based languaging. So it usually goes something like this. Eliza, thinking about you, because your family, you told me that in your family, you guys struggle with stomach aches, like there's food sensitivities and stuff. I was curious what you know about essential oils. And Eliza's going to say, what are you going to say? Throw it at me.
If it was when I started, no, I don't know anything about essential oils like that. I would say.
No, absolutely. Yeah, actually cool because essential oils are.
No.
Oh man.
Let's see.
We will be back. Okay. We are going to just.
We're going to wing it. Oh, I think she might be back. Oh.
So let's go ahead and look. I'm
back. I'm back. Okay, so essential oils are so amazing, Liza. I'm really excited that you don't know anything about them. I suffered from stomach aches for my whole life since I was 5 years old. And then I found peppermint oil and I don't have stomach aches anymore. Would you like to learn about this?
Sure.
Okay, I have a class on Tuesday night. Would it be okay? And I'm going to pinpoint that, everyone. Would it be okay if I invited you?
Yeah, absolutely. Send me the invite.
Okay, so to make it even more fun, I'm going to drop off a little peppermint oil so you can try it out. That way, when you come to the class, you kind of know what I'm talking about. Is it okay if I drop it on your porch this afternoon?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, just leave it on the plants outside.
Okay, great. So that's an example of permission-based languaging. Now, the key here is, can I do that with a lot of people? And now Eliza may or may not come to the class. She may or may not have good results with the peppermint, and none of that's in my control. What is in my control is how many people can I invite? How many people can I invite, and how good is my follow-up? So if Eliza have good results with the peppermint. Yay! Means that I get to sample her with Digest Sun. If Eliza doesn't come to the class, awesome. I have a reason to follow up with her, and I can offer to give her the notes in a one-to-one. I can say, oh, Eliza, I understand. You didn't make it to the class. We're busy. Do you want to go grab coffee tomorrow and I'll share my notes with you? So everything that happens, even if it's not the success that you think it should be, is another reason for you to follow up. And in every follow-up, it's another invitation. So say Eliza enrolls. My next invitation is for her to come to the wellness consult. Say the wellness consult is awesome. My next invitation is for her to look at the business. Say she says no to the business. Great. My next invitation is to come to our continuing ed, or to come to convention, or to check out the business again. So we just wanted to talk to you about this because it is truly all about inviting. It's a matter of, are you constantly connecting, constantly building relationship, and always inviting them to the next event. So our call to action here, we're going to give you 2 minutes to do this because I do not want you to overthink it, is to write down the names of 10 people, the first names that come to you, someone who's not enrolled yet. So 10 people, like, don't have their oils yet. And you're going to invite them to the Tuesday or the Monday class. So yes, I actually want you to make a list of these 10 people. And then while we're sitting here, you're going to send out a text message to at least one of them, inviting them to the Tuesday or the Monday night class. Okay, you've got 2 minutes. And Liza, you might need to put your Monday class info in the chat for anyone who needs it, or if they already know where to get that. So 10 people. Who are 10 people you want to invite to learn about oils? Don't judge the names. Don't judge it, just put them down, especially if it's your chicken list. One more minute to get those names down. Don't judge it, just the first name that pops into your head. Your kid's teacher, your favorite barista, your doctor, your dental hygienist, the dog groomer, the person who sold you your house, the soccer coach, the ballerina teacher, okay, 30 more seconds. If you have more than 10 names, awesome. Just keep writing it down. Okay, so we're going to wrap that up. You wrote down the names. Now you're going to have the rest of our time together to send that one text message. Okay, so if you don't get the text message sent right now, that's okay. You have until we're done together, which is 2 p.m. West Coast time. And all you're going to do is invite them to the Tuesday night class or the Monday night class. Now here's a little just hint for you. if you are working with someone who's not tech based, you don't have to have them register on Eventbrite. You can register on Eventbrite for the Tuesday night class and get the Zoom link yourself and do your own inviting. Just if you have someone who you're like, I don't know if Eventbrite's going to work for them. Okay,
Arin,
we
can
have
Arin, can I throw something else in there?
Sure.
I just put this in the chat, but the Tuesday evening time that really doesn't work for me. So I'm doing all through May. I'm going to do an introduction to essential oils class every Tuesday at 12 p.m. Pacific time on Zoom. So anybody, we have it up on a website now, but it charges $1 to register. So we're moving to Eventbrite, which I'll have done by the end of today. And I can send that over to the visionary leaders, but anyone can invite to that.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, if it doesn't work for you, collaborate with some other people and make it happen. I love that you did that, Nikki. Good job.